Everybody, this is my entry into Nick the Booksmith Classics, and I'm doing Of Mice and Men, one of my favorite books. My son is actually reading it right now. So again, hardback. I did 3 signatures, but they're very large signatures. Again, this is my first video. Never did a video on YouTube. I'm more of a lurker than I am a poster, so bear with me. So on the spine, I just put his initials, the author's initials. So let's get started. I know we only have 10 minutes that we have to roll through this, so I'm going to go quite quickly. The book is about 2 men, George and Lenny. And George is an uneducated man, but smaller man, but he still has his wits about him. Lenny is a very bulky gentleman, somewhat mentally challenged, I guess. They're migrant workers, so it's during the Great Depression, can't find work, they're traveling all the time. They stumble upon this ranch, they get a job, and this is what their experiences have been. So I have a tuck spot here, I have a journaling card, and then this is one of the flip-up envelopes that you can put something in, and another tag that you can journal on. Picture John Steinbeck. I think 1937 was when it was published. He based it upon his own experiences of working side by side with migrant workers, but also a poem, and we'll get to that. But I put a lot of quotes throughout the book that I found, that meant something to me, so I added them throughout. But this is Robert Burns. He wrote this poem, and in this little area right here, the best laid schemes of mice and men, was something that sparked John Steinbeck when he wrote the book. So I kind of wanted to add that to it because it has some background information with, what inspired him. So I've got a book page right here. This is, again, they went to a ranch. My thought is it kind of looks somewhat like that. It's like a journaling card. Again, another miniature inside book cover of Mice and Men. So lots of journaling space. I put some digi-stamps in here. Here's another quote. Again, Lenny is a large, bulky man. He likes soft things. He starts to pet the soft things, but he doesn't know his own strengths, so he ends up killing the mice. So this is one of the quotes from the book about trouble with mice is you always kill them. That's George talking to Lenny. Another tuck spot fabric. This to me reminded me of what they would look like as children because of this difference in size. So I wanted to add that in there as a journaling card. Another tag. A belly band. This is a dictionary page. I kind of highlighted the word mouse. Use a little vellum paper. Another quote. Journaling areas. Another belly band. With a quote. This was I guess a Tim Holtz ephemera. Looked to me, reminded me of migrant workers, so made it into a tag. Another page there. Another pocket with a postcard and a typewriter keyboard. So it made me think of, again, as writers, how they, type out their manuscript or their rough draft. So J.S. John Steinbeck. I did some printing on fabric, so I utilized what I didn't use on the front cover, and I utilized it throughout the book. Another area right here is a cute little bag, field notes, I guess. Another tag that you can journal on. They play cards a lot in the bunkhouse, so I kind of added that in there. These are actually small little deck of cards that I got in an antique store. This is a past cover of Mice and Men that I kind of reprinted. Journaling, journaling, journaling. And the other side of the book page. Reminding me again of George and Lenny because of the size difference. They're looking for work. Another quote. Tuck spot. This is a tag. Some fabric. Another fabric. Tuck spot. I used one of the covers as a miniature little book that you can journal in. Here's a little envelope with another, it's a tally card that you can journal on. Again, and Nick, you do Franken pages, so I did kind of that, but with fabric. So I use a lot of my little scraps to put together. Put another little Destiny, because again, these two were friends. They're unlikely friends, but they're friends nonetheless. Let's see. This is a photo that I saw online that, again, reminded me based on the size difference. If you know the book, you can visualize Lenny versus George envelope with more journaling areas. A map, kind of what the, they're in California, so the ranch and how it's laid out with between the bunkhouse, the barn, and then the homestead. The ranchers, the owner, his son Curly, he's in the book. He's a former boxer, kind of a jerk. He has a wife. They don't name her in the book, but she becomes significant towards the end of the book. Some more dyed paper. This was actually graph paper, but it kind of turned green as I dyed it, kind of ran. Another pocket, another quote. This is my favorite little book, so I use fabric in here too. So this is a train check, some ephemera, some journaling spots, and then on the back did another pocket with a tag, and then some more ephemera. I put friend because, again, they were friends. Regardless of everything that happens, they were friends and they cared about each other. Especially George, he cared about Lenny. Middle page of the signature, a rabbit on a dictionary. They're both actually tucks, but I just put a tag in this side. Another fabric pocket. This is a postcard. This made me think of like them living in the city, couldn't find work. They left the city. This is something to remind them of where they came from as they go to find work out in the farmlands in California. Again, that's Lenny worrying about the rabbits. He likes rabbits because they feel soft. Likes to pet them. Another book page. It's of mice, so it made me think of the book. Vellum paper that I printed on. Tell me about the rabbits, George. He always talks about that throughout the book. Another tuck spot. Here is another mini journaling book that I made out of fabric in a past cover. So I included that. It's got several little pages. And two at this lace tuck. Another journaling card. I guess I put luggage on there because I think of them traveling. The other side of my Franken page of fabric. Pocket. I have this little bag. I got this actually something that I ordered on Etsy. She put some stuff in this bag, or in this little envelope, so I thought it was cute. Journaling spot there. Second signature, again, the ranch on vellum, quote, another book page, has rabbits on it, rabbits and mice, basically. A little tucked there with a tag. Lots of sewing. I'm enjoying actually sewing. I don't sew, but I've enjoyed it. A little book page, another like bougie stamp of the ranch. I actually printed on my paper, my coffee dye paper. I thought the printer was going to eat it, actually. But it didn't. Another envelope. This is like a double tuck. So, again, I've got, it's all falling out, but this is an actual page from the book that I included that as a tag, a piece of dictionary, just a little collage, rabbits highlighted. This is actually a copy of a letter that John Steinbeck wrote to a friend named Buzzy, so I wanted to include that. We're journaling. I think this is the last of my printed on fabric of the title of the book. This right here is another envelope with some journaling paper. And this to me, George or Lenny liked the mice, right? So if you think about if you find any nests of mice, they're always gathering little, whether it be fabric or, things in the wall, like, just little bits and pieces. So I kind of put it in here because to me, because Lenny likes the mice and he loves petting them, that he kind of kept it as a keepsake. So I put it in a little window so you could see the material that mice made out of it, you know, made their nests out of. Again, this looks to me like this is George and Lenny as children, so I included that because in my mind they grew up together, right? So another quote, another page. So at the end of the book, Lenny is with Curly's wife, and they're talking, and she's got nice soft hair, so he likes soft things, so he starts petting her hair. She doesn't like it. She starts to get nervous. He tries to overcompensate and ends up killing her, basically breaking her neck. So this is, in my mind, her dress that she had on that day that Lenny took a piece of as, you know, remembering her. You know, and if you go on in the book, again, George takes Lenny out to the place, a serene place, and talks about getting land of their own. That's why they're going to work. We'll go get our own land, live in the fat of the land, and he ends up, because he knows that the law is going to get Lenny, so he ends up ending his life for him. If you've ever read the book, you know the ending. Sad, very sad. Makes me cry. Last talk spot, I think, again, cards. They play cards in like the bunkhouse, life, some journaling. This is a postcard that makes you think of the ranch. Trying to finish off. And then at the end, this is Curly's wife's maybe handkerchief or something that she carried on her that he kept. So I wanted to clip it in the back of the book. And I added, I know library cards can sometimes come in the front, but I added it to the back. Again, library card, this was on in Nick's, you could download that, so I also printed that off and put that in my little pocket. And that's about it. So I hope you liked my book. Thanks. Bye.